Welcome on board, chosen one. Funny how everyone pretended they did not see you coming. You need to stop, whatever you are doing, right now. Do not scroll away from this message. This is an urgent interception from the universe. Archangel Michael has personally routed this frequency to your screen for a very specific reason. Your enemies are panicking right now. They are absolutely terrified of the shift happening inside you. You have felt it in your bones lately. There is a strange silence coming from the people who used to drain your energy. They used to text you constantly to create chaos. But now the line is dead quiet. Do you want to know why? They finally connected the dots. The people who thought they were playing you have just realized a horrifying truth. You were never the naive empath they assumed you were. You were observing every single lie they told, and heaven allowed them to think they were winning. This gave them enough rope to expose their true dark nature to you. This is not a random algorithm showing you a video. This is divine alignment, reaching out to validate your intuition. You spent months feeling like you were losing your mind. They manipulated your reality and made you question your own sanity. You cried silent tears in the middle of the night. But you did not break under that immense pressure. Listen closely, because this next part is a matter of spiritual survival. If you leave this message now, you will miss the ultimate revelation. The breakthrough will still happen, but you will not know how to wield your new power. You will single-handedly shut the door on the exact explanation your soul has been begging for. Stay right here. The darkness is desperate for you to swipe away right now. It knows that once you hear this truth, you become completely untouchable. You become the absolute master of your reality. Those who plotted your downfall are currently watching everything they built start to crumble. The universe has flipped the script entirely in your favor today. Think about the profound silence surrounding you lately. It feels eerie and almost uncomfortable sometimes. But this isolation is not a punishment for anything you did wrong. It is a divine quarantine protocol to protect your rising frequency. Heaven had to mute the noise so you could hear this specific instruction clearly. They always described you as too forgiving and too soft. They severely underestimated the spiritual warrior sleeping inside your gentle soul. And because of that fatal mistake, they walked right into a trap set by the divine. The very people who threw stones at you are now begging for a drop of water from your well. But the well is sealed. Do you feel that slight pull in your chest right now? That is your spirit recognizing the undeniable truth in these words. You have stepped into your era of quiet authority. Your energy now demands respect without you having to speak a single word. This terrifies the narcissists who used to feed off your emotional reactions and endless patience. The game they were playing relied entirely on your blindness, but your spiritual eyes have been blasted wide open. They look at you now and see an anomaly they cannot categorize. You are the cycle breaker your bloodline has waited for, and the people who tried to keep you at the bottom are suddenly feeling incredibly exposed. Let me explain the terrifying realization that just hit them. They woke up and realized you no longer need them for anything. You do not need their validation or their toxic breadcrumbs of affection. You have found a direct source of immense power, and watching you glow from a distance is burning their eyes like staring directly into the sun. You might be wondering why the universe allowed them to hurt you. Why did heaven stay silent while you were being dragged through the mud? I am going to reveal the exact reason before this message ends. There is a hidden mechanism behind your suffering that will completely blow your mind. It was a setup for the greatest wealth transfer imaginable. But do not celebrate just yet. I have to warn you about a fatal trap the enemy is setting right now. They know they have lost control over your mind, so they are trying to send in counterfeits to test your new boundaries. You will miss the warning signs entirely if you do not pay close attention to what I am about to expose. Take one slow and real breath. Put your phone down and really focus on the vibration of this message. You are standing at the exact edge of a massive timeline shift. The old version of you would have chased after those people to ask, why? The new version of you simply locks the door and watches them panic from the outside looking in. Your silence is the loudest sound they have ever heard. It is a deafening roar that echoes in their empty lives. They desperately want you to react, so they can feel relevant again. But heaven has commanded you to hold your peace and let karma do the heavy lifting. The spiritual scales are being balanced right in front of your eyes today. Let us go back to those dark moments when you felt completely insane. You remember the times you stayed quiet just to keep the peace. You swallowed your pride while they paraded their arrogance right in front of your face. And you often wondered if there was something deeply wrong with you because you could not fight back the way they did. You were never weak. That was the most brilliant survival tactic your spirit could have chosen. Tap the like button as an act of agreement with what God just spoke to you. You need to lock in this frequency right now. Heaven is actively removing the shame you have carried for years. You carried the heavy burden of their toxic behavior on your shoulders because they convinced you that everything was your fault. It is time to finally drop it. They pushed you into a corner and called you too sensitive. You apologized for things you did not even do just to stop the endless arguments. You compromised your own boundaries so they would feel comfortable. And every single time you shrank yourself down, a piece of your soul felt like it was dying inside. They loved seeing you small. Do you remember waking up at 3 in the morning with your heart racing? You thought it was anxiety or a medical issue. But that tightness in your chest was your intuition trying to scream at you. Your spiritual body knew you were surrounded by energetic vampires, while your physical mind was still trying to see the good in them. You are not crazy. They saw your pure light and realized they could use it to illuminate their own dark lives. They did not love you for who you were. They loved what you could provide for them. And the moment you started asking for basic respect, they suddenly painted you as the villain of the story. They twisted the narrative to protect their fragile egos. You played the fool so they could feel smart. You let them explain things to you that you already understood perfectly well. You watched them lie straight to your face, and you chose to say absolutely nothing. People thought you were completely ignorant because you refused to engage in petty arguments while you were secretly observing their every move. But your silence was actually gathering evidence. Stop beating yourself up for staying in that toxic environment for so long. You did not stay because you lacked self-worth or intelligence. You stayed because you are a healer at your core, and you truly believed your love could fix their broken spirits before you realized some demons do not want to be saved. Forgive yourself today. The universe had to let you reach the absolute breaking point. You had to feel the crushing weight of their betrayal so you would never look back again. If they had been just a little bit kinder, you might have stayed trapped in that miserable cycle forever. Their cruelty was the exact catalyst required to wake you up completely. I know how much it hurt when they walked away laughing. You sat alone in your room and wondered why your immense kindness was rewarded with such bitter cruelty. The isolation felt like a heavy blanket trying to smother your beautiful spark. But while you were crying those bitter tears, heaven was quietly rearranging the entire chessboard because your final victory was already written. Every red flag you saw in the very beginning was completely real. You ignored your gut feeling because you wanted to give them a fair chance. They convinced you that your suspicions were just past trauma acting up, but your spiritual radar was perfectly calibrated, and it accurately detected their malicious intentions from the very first moment you met them. They operated under the delusion that they were the main characters in your life. They thought they held all the power because you were too polite to put them in their place. But politeness is not the same thing as powerlessness. You were simply following a divine mandate to observe their actions without interfering with their karma. You absorbed all their negative projections and alchemized them into pure spiritual fuel. The pain they inflicted on you actually expanded your capacity to hold the massive blessing that is coming next. You were a master class in patience and restraint. and now their time is up because the universe has seen enough of their destructive games. Take a deep breath and let this ultimate truth wash over you right now. You never lost a single thing when they left your life. You lost a parasite that was actively draining your life force while you were trying to heal their wounds. Their departure was not a rejection of your value, but a desperate fleeing from your intense light. Stand up tall in your spirit right now and reclaim your stolen dignity. The days of making yourself small to accommodate their insecurities are officially over forever. You have graduated from the hardest spiritual training camp on earth, and heaven is immensely proud of the quiet dignity you maintained while they threw their pathetic tantrums and tried to destroy your peace. Let us reframe the way you view your past silence. You thought it was a sign of defeat or powerlessness against them. They believed your quiet nature meant you were simply giving up the fight. But your silence was actually a rigorous training ground for your nervous system, because you were learning how to hold immense energy without reacting to their petty provocations. You mastered your own mind in the darkest moments. Every time you bit your tongue, you were building spiritual muscle. You were upgrading your internal wiring to handle the massive frequency coming your way. The universe was teaching you how to master your emotional responses under extreme pressure. If you had reacted the way they wanted, you would have leaked your precious energy, and they would have consumed your light to feed their own empty souls. Your powerful restraint became your ultimate protective shield. Now look at the intense isolation you have experienced recently. You felt abandoned by friends and misunderstood by your own family members. It felt like the entire world had conspired to leave you entirely alone. But this profound loneliness is not a punishment for being a bad person. Rather, it is divine isolation designed to protect your aura from absolute contamination. You are completely safe inside this sacred space. Heaven had to forcibly remove those people from your timeline forever. They were secretly draining your life force while pretending to care about your well-being. If they had stayed around, their low vibrations would have anchored you to the bottom. The universe deliberately burned those bridges because you were too loyal to walk away yourself, and heaven refused to let you sink with their sinking ship. Your painful isolation is actually a direct divine intervention. You often wondered why your blessings were taking so incredibly long to arrive. You saw terrible people getting ahead while you were stuck in the mud. But the delay was never a rejection of your prayers or your pure heart. The universe was simply delaying the manifestation to clean out the rooms you were about to enter while preparing your spirit for a kingdom-level upgrade. You desperately needed this profound and quiet pause. You are not the empath who begs for scraps of understanding anymore. The crucible of pain has completely forged you into a master of reality. Your energy field has become entirely self-sufficient and incredibly powerful today. You no longer need external validation to know your true worth in this world, and the people who threw you away are starting to realize their massive error. They finally see your brilliant and undeniable glow. You have become a weapon of light in a very dark world. The pain you endured was the fire that hardened your spiritual steel. You survived the storm alone, and that makes you an incredibly rare soul. They wanted to destroy you because they saw this immense potential before you even did, but their toxic attacks only accelerated your divine awakening process immensely. You absolutely won the hidden spiritual war today. Your silence is no longer a defense mechanism against their constant abuse. It has evolved into a weapon of absolute authority that terrifies their spirits. They cannot manipulate a mind that refuses to engage in their dramatic games. You have starved their demons by simply cutting off their supply of emotional reactions, and your quiet presence alone is enough to disrupt their dark agendas. You currently hold all the power right now. Feel the massive shift in power happening inside your body right now. You are taking back every single ounce of energy you ever gave them. The tears you cried were actually washing away the illusions that kept you trapped. You are finally seeing the grand design behind your years of intense suffering, and you realize you were never a victim but a chosen warrior, undergoing specialized training. Your beautiful heart is finally and completely healed. This is why you no longer tolerate confusion disguised as genuine love. You completely reject disrespect, even when it is disguised as brutal honesty. Your boundaries are made of solid steel, and they are heavily guarded by heaven. The days of sacrificing your peace to keep toxic people comfortable are completely over, and you have claimed your rightful throne while your spirit rests at peace. You are totally and completely untouchable right now. That is the truth they tried so desperately to hide from you. They knew that if you ever realized your worth, they would lose you forever. And now that you are awake, the spiritual scales have tipped entirely in your direction. But there is a specific mechanism behind their sudden panic that you need to understand, because they are experiencing something truly terrifying in their own lives now. Their heavy karma has finally arrived this week. Listen carefully to what I am about to say next. You are about to discover exactly how your elevated frequency is dismantling their lives. The universe is actively connecting the dots and exposing their darkest hidden secrets. The silence you hear from them is not them ignoring you at all, but it is the sound of their entire world collapsing from the inside. They literally have nowhere left to hide today. Keep your eyes locked on this message, because we are going deeper. The validation you just received is only the very beginning of the story. There is a cosmic reversal of fortune happening right under their noses today. And you are holding the winning ticket while they are left holding nothing but regret. So get ready to understand exactly how the tables have finally turned. Everything finally makes perfect sense to you now. There is a precise moment when the entire spiritual dynamic flipped permanently. The universe finally stepped in and started connecting the dots for everyone to see. The invisible masks those toxic people wore for years suddenly began to slip off in public. You did not have to say a single word to expose their true nature to the world. Heaven took over the narrative while you were busy healing your own heart. They spent so much time plotting your downfall that they completely ignored their own crumbling foundations. Their lies became incredibly sloppy, and their fake stories stopped making any logical sense. People around them are finally waking up to the massive illusion. Type 111 down in the comments to claim this divine alignment right now. You need to anchor your identity as the absolute master of your reality today. The universe is actively removing the heavy blindfolds from the people who once judged you, and they are finally seeing the undeniable truth about your pure soul. This is the exact mechanism of divine justice happening behind the scenes today. When someone attacks a chosen one unprovoked, they trigger a catastrophic spiritual backlash against their own lives. They thought they could safely bury you in the dark without realizing you were a powerful seed, and now you are blooming beautifully while they are desperately choking. Watch how their carefully constructed lives are falling apart piece by piece. They built their entire kingdom on manipulation and stolen energy from beautiful souls like yours. But that stolen fuel eventually runs out when the true empath finally walks away forever, leaving them completely starving for the brilliant light you used to give them so freely. Do not ignore this next sign, because it reveals their ultimate panic. They are desperately trying to find new targets to drain right now, but nobody else possesses your rare level of grace and endless patience. Every new person they meet immediately senses their toxic vibration, and the universe is completely isolating them as a direct consequence of their terrible actions. But there is a deeper layer to this phenomenon that you must understand. They actually set a massive psychological trap for themselves without even realizing it. I will explain exactly how this hidden trap is destroying them from the inside out very soon. But first, you must fully comprehend the absolute perfection of divine timing in your life. They projected all their massive insecurities onto your pure and innocent spirit. They called you crazy because acknowledging your sanity would mean facing their own deep madness. The universe quietly recorded every single tear you shed in the dark silence of your lonely room, and now heaven is playing back that exact recording for their guilty conscience. You are witnessing the absolute destruction of a narcissistic matrix right now. The people who operated in the shadows are finally being dragged into the blinding sunlight. They secretly hate you because your mere existence reminds them of everything they lack, while you represent the pure authenticity that their fake personas can never successfully mimic. You might wonder if they feel any genuine remorse for hurting you. The truth is, they are only sorry that their sick manipulation tactics stopped working on you. They are mourning the permanent loss of their absolute favorite emotional punching bag today. But heaven has placed an unbreakable and invisible shield around you that deflects all their desperate energy. This brings us to the ultimate revelation about their current mental state. They are obsessively stalking your energetic footprint, trying to figure out how you survived. They genuinely expected you to completely collapse and beg for their toxic mercy after they left. But seeing you thrive and glow with immense spiritual power is their absolute worst nightmare. Your unbothered peace is the ultimate revenge against their chaotic and messy lives. You are glowing with the radiant energy of a true cycle breaker today. Every single dot is connecting perfectly to reveal their absolute failure to break your beautiful spirit, because their poisoned arrows simply bounced off your heavy divine armor. Do you see how heaven orchestrated this massive victory on your behalf? You did not have to lower your vibration or fight them in the dirty mud. You simply maintained your high frequency and let their own suffocating darkness consume them entirely, ensuring that the spiritual scales remain permanently tipped in your absolute favor. Prepare yourself, because the consequences of their actions are about to multiply. They pushed you into a painful isolation that accidentally activated your highest spiritual gifts. They basically handed you the exact keys to the glorious kingdom they desperately wanted to rule, and watching you sit peacefully on that beautiful throne is making them completely lose their minds. There are actual physical signs showing how your energy is literally choking them right now. You might not see it directly, but heaven is revealing exactly what happens behind their closed doors, because their fragile bodies are reacting violently to your massive spiritual upgrade. I will reveal exactly what these bizarre physical symptoms look like very soon. But first, you must witness their absolute mental collapse. The narcissists who tried to break you are currently drowning in their own toxic venom. They spent years constructing a fake reality built entirely on lies and stolen energy. They thought this fragile house of cards would stand forever. But your quiet departure pulled the foundational pillars straight out from under their feet, and now their entire world is crashing down in slow motion. Remember that massive psychological trap I mentioned earlier? They set a trap expecting you to fall into deep depression when they walked away, but the law of karma completely reversed the energetic flow of that exact trap. Instead of breaking you, the heavy despair they intended for your life bounced back and hit them with double the intensity. They are currently experiencing the exact pain they wished upon you. They cannot sleep peacefully at night anymore. Their minds race with deep paranoia. They constantly wonder if you are going to expose their dirty secrets to the world. They know you hold enough evidence to destroy their public image, and this terrifying reality haunts them every single time they are left alone with their dark thoughts. They project a confident smile during the day, but they are completely terrified inside. Your silence is the absolute ultimate punishment for a narcissist. They feed on your chaotic emotional reactions to feel powerful and relevant. but you completely cut off their primary food source when you decided to walk away. They are starving for your attention right now, and this severe energetic starvation is making them act incredibly reckless and desperate because they are making mistakes everywhere they go. They try to find new people to manipulate. They try to recreate the exact dynamic they had with you. But nobody else possesses your rare combination of deep empathy and pure spiritual light. They quickly realize that every new target is entirely hollow compared to your brilliant soul. And this terrifying realization sends them into a massive spiral of deep regret, while they know they lost the absolute best thing they ever had. Heaven is forcing them to watch you rise from a distance. They see your new blessings manifesting, and it burns their jealous hearts. They desperately want to reach out and pull you back down into their miserable swamp. But the divine shield around you is completely impenetrable, and they cannot even get close to your peaceful energy field. Your quiet authority is absolute poison to their manipulative demons. Every single lie they told is coming back to haunt them today. Every tear they forced you to cry has been transformed into a brick for your new kingdom. You are the untouchable master of your reality, while they are simply miserable prisoners of their own fabricated lies. This is the magnificent beauty of divine justice operating in real time, and you do not have to lift a single finger to destroy them. They look at you and see a massive anomaly they cannot comprehend. You survived the exact storm that was designed to completely wipe you out. You stepped out of the heavy darkness looking even more radiant than before, and this undeniable proof of your immense power makes them feel incredibly small. They are finally drowning in the shallow puddles they created for you. Take a deep breath and feel the heavy chains falling off your spirit. You are no longer bound to their chaotic frequency or their endless drama, because you have ascended to a high vibration where their toxic arrows simply cannot reach. But we still need to discuss those bizarre physical signs I mentioned earlier. You need to know exactly how their bodies are failing them right now. Their energetic panic is manifesting into actual physical sickness. Their sleep is broken, and their anxiety is constantly running high. Heaven is stripping away their fake peace because they refuse to repent for abusing your pure heart. The universe is making them incredibly uncomfortable in their own skin, and the specific signs of this divine punishment are completely undeniable. You must understand that you are not responsible for their current suffering. You were a weapon of light sent to give them a chance to heal, but they chose to worship their own darkness instead of embracing your gentle love. Now they must face the brutal consequences of rejecting a chosen one. Their time is officially up, and your glorious season has finally arrived. Let us look at the undeniable signs of their current collapse. I promise to tell you how your silent frequency is physically choking them. Their bodies are literally rejecting their own toxic energy right now. Because they can no longer dump their heavy emotional garbage onto your pure soul, that poison has nowhere else to go but back inside their own minds. They are experiencing severe energetic blockages. You might hear through the grapevine that they are suddenly always exhausted. They complain about mysterious headaches and relentless fatigue. This is not a simple physical issue at all. It is the direct physical manifestation of the heavy spiritual debt they accumulated while they were ruthlessly abusing your kindness. Notice how completely isolated they have become recently. The universe is actively stripping away their fake friends and their superficial support systems. They used to surround themselves with crowds to validate their fragile egos, but now heaven is placing them in a strict spiritual quarantine, and they are suffocating in the loud silence of their empty lives. Everything they try to build right now simply falls apart. The projects they start suddenly crumble without any logical explanation. They are watching doors slam shut right in their faces. And the most beautiful part is that your quiet authority is the exact frequency causing this massive disruption. Your absolute peace is a weapon of light that destroys their dark plans. They are constantly monitoring your life from the shadows. They use fake accounts just to see if you are finally failing without them. But instead, they see you glowing brighter than you ever did before. Watching you thrive in complete silence is entirely suffocating to their spirit. They realize they were the actual burden holding your massive blessings back. But wait. Before you start celebrating this massive victory, I must address something incredibly urgent. There is a fatal trap lying perfectly hidden right before the dawn of your new timeline. 99% of chosen ones fall for this dangerous illusion right before their final breakthrough. You must listen closely if you want to avoid this deadly snare. The darkness knows you are incredibly close to absolute freedom, so it will try to tempt you to break your powerful silence. The enemy wants you to reach out and explain your side of the story one last time. They will send a sudden text or a manipulative apology just to see if you will bite the hook. Do not reply to them under any circumstances today. Your silence is the unbreakable seal on your victory. If you respond to their bait, you will instantly lower your vibration back to their chaotic level. You must remain the untouchable master of your reality. Let them drown in the terrifying silence of your permanent absence. Your complete lack of response is the most devastating answer you could ever give. They assumed you would hold on to anger and bitter resentment. They thought your hatred would keep you energetically tied to them forever. But heaven performed a miraculous surgery on your broken heart. You did not just survive the storm alone, you completely alchemized the pain into pure spiritual gold. And your total indifference is absolutely killing them now. Every single day you remain silent, their panic multiplies heavily. They are entirely cut off from the divine flow of abundance that you naturally carry. They thought they were stealing your power, but they only borrowed it temporarily. Now heaven has recalled every single drop of your precious energy, and they are left completely bankrupt in the spiritual realm. Do you feel the immense weight of your quiet authority? You do not need to defend your character to anyone anymore. The universe is fighting all your battles while you simply rest in perfect peace. This is the ultimate privilege of being a true cycle breaker. You are deeply protected by an invisible shield that reflects their toxic jealousy right back at them. Their sudden isolation is the absolute proof of your victory. They can no longer hide behind their charming smiles and clever lies. The divine light is exposing their hollow souls to every single person they meet. You simply stood still and allowed the universe to work its perfect justice, and now they are completely trapped inside the very cage they built for you. Take one long breath right now. Absorb the reality of your new powerful position. You have successfully starved their demons by removing your beautiful light. The signs of their collapse are everywhere. If you look, but your focus must remain entirely on the glorious timeline opening up for you today. We are approaching the climax of your spiritual journey. The ultimate revelation about your new power is coming next. I will explain how to lock this high frequency permanently so they can never touch you again. But remember the fatal trap I warned you about. You must hold your profound silence right now. The waiting season is officially over right now. The dry desert you walked through has suddenly burst into an oasis of divine favor. Every closed door is being blown off its hinges. And while they are still struggling in the dark, you are stepping into the exact timeline you were born to rule. Can you feel that massive shift in your spirit today? That is the glorious frequency of absolute victory washing over you. Here is the ultimate truth you have been waiting for. The reason they went completely silent is not because your frequency was too low. It is because your blinding light became entirely unbearable to their dark demons, and they suddenly realized they were never playing you at all. You were quietly observing the entire chessboard and letting them trap themselves. You are no longer the empath who begged to be understood by toxic people. The crucible of agonizing pain has forged you into the untouchable master of your reality. From this exact moment on, your energy demands absolute respect without a single word spoken. And because heaven has authorized this massive upgrade, the divine wealth you were promised is flowing effortlessly into your new timeline. You are completely unstoppable. The fatal trap I warned you about earlier is entirely powerless against you now. It is the sudden appearance of a toxic counterfeit from your past reaching out today. They send that manipulative text right when your real blessing is standing at the door. But you simply look at your phone and laugh in quiet authority because you will never take their poisoned BAIT again. Your beautiful mind is perfectly clear and your high frequency is firmly locked. You have become the exact break in your bloodline that future generations will thank you for. A healed person no longer tolerates confusion disguised as genuine love. You no longer tolerate disrespect disguised as brutal honesty, and the heavy chains of the past are completely shattered today. They do not hate you because you are shining so brightly. They hate you for effortlessly exposing their deep darkness simply by existing in the same room. But their hatred is totally irrelevant to your glorious future now. The universe has erected an impenetrable fortress of pure white light around your soul, and their desperate arrows will never reach your heart. Take a deep breath and feel the immense power surging through your veins. You became the incredible weapon you were desperately trying to survive. The profound silence after the massive storm hits completely different when you finally realize you were the storm all along. Heaven is placing a heavy crown of divine authority upon your head right now. The people who underestimated your gentle spirit are choking on their own bitter regrets. They threw away the rarest diamond to play with worthless stones in the mud, and now they are forced to watch you ascend to heights they cannot even imagine. You are the anomaly they could never control or understand, while your magnificent glow is completely blinding them today. Every single tear you cried in secret has been transformed into a spiritual diamond. The universe is actively handing you the master keys to the kingdom you deserve. There is absolutely nothing they can do to stop this massive wealth transfer from reaching your hands, because the intense spiritual war is over, and you are the undeniable victor. Claim your glorious prize now. Can you feel the heavy burden lifting completely off your tired shoulders? That is the magnificent feeling of absolute liberation and divine justice happening right now. You are radiating a pure frequency that automatically repels anything less than absolute loyalty and love. And the days of accepting miserable breadcrumbs are permanently erased from your timeline. The pitch-black darkness has completely retreated behind you. The brilliant dawn of your new era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown. The intense euphoria building inside your chest is the exact confirmation from heaven that your ultimate breakthrough has arrived. You have passed the rigorous test with absolute grace and quiet dignity. But you cannot just passively absorb this massive energetic upgrade today. You must perform a physical act to permanently lock in this glorious frequency and create an absolute shield of protection. The enemy wants you to passively watch this and forget everything tomorrow. But do not let them steal this profound activation from your spirit right before the final seal. The universe requires a concrete declaration of your new identity as the master of your reality. You need to anchor your soul at this exact high vibrational altitude. Heaven is waiting for your final signature on this divine contract of abundance and perfect peace, so prepare your heart for the ultimate seal of protection coming in the next moment. You have officially crossed the threshold into your new reality. The heavy baggage of your past is completely gone now. You will never have to shrink your bright spirit to fit into their small boxes again. And the universe is actively building an unbreakable fortress around your pure heart because heaven finally recognizes your massive and silent sacrifice. Your aura is practically blinding right now. You are completely safe, but you must seal this glorious frequency before you leave this space. The enemy is waiting just outside the borders of this divine transmission. They desperately hope you will slip back into the old patterns of self-doubt tomorrow. But you hold the ultimate power of choice today, and your quiet authority completely terrifies the dark forces surrounding them. Do not let them win. You need to anchor this profound spiritual truth into the physical world. Your physical body must align perfectly with your newly awakened spirit today. When you take a physical action, you signal to heaven that you fully accept your glorious crown. And you are telling the universe that you are finally ready to receive the immense generational wealth waiting for you because your pure soul truly deserves it. Claim your victory. I want you to type the word Amen or the number 777 in the comments right now. This is not just a simple word on a screen. It is a powerful spiritual signature on your new divine contract of absolute abundance. It locks your high vibration in place, and it creates a massive protective shield against any future toxic attacks from those narcissists. Claim your power now. You are the true master of your reality. You are the rare cycle breaker who survived the terrible storm entirely alone. The people who tried to dim your light are now completely powerless against your quiet authority. You hold the master key to your own destiny today, and your profound silence has become the most terrifying weapon in your spiritual arsenal because they simply cannot comprehend your peace. You are untouchable, but heaven requires one more vital step from a true chosen one today. If this fiery message has reignited the powerful faith inside you, do not keep this great blessing to yourself. There is another beautiful soul out there, bleeding in the dark of despair right now. They are crying silent tears, and they desperately need a guiding light in their terrible storm because their faith is currently fading away. The universe brought you here to become a beacon of hope for others. When you share this exact message with someone who needs it, you instantly multiply your own blessing. Sowing the seed of hope today guarantees a massive harvest of divine favor tomorrow. It proves to heaven that your hands are completely open to receive the next miracle. And the universe always rewards a generous spirit with unstoppable abundance. Send this frequency to someone who is currently battling toxic narcissists. Share this video to activate the final anointing over your own beautiful life. Every single time this truth reaches a new heart, the darkness loses another helpless captive. You become an active partner with the divine forces of light when you spread this crucial warning to the world. Do not hesitate. Your action today seals the permanent defeat of your former enemies. They can never return to drain your precious energy again. The invisible cord that connected your pure soul to their heavy karma has been permanently severed by heaven. You are completely free to soar to majestic heights they cannot even comprehend in their wildest dreams. And your incredible journey is only just beginning today. The next few weeks will bring incredible signs of your new alignment. You will see grand doors opening that were firmly padlocked for many painful years. You will experience a profound peace that makes absolutely no logical sense to the outside world. This is the magnificent reward for holding your beautiful silence under extreme pressure while they tried to destroy your reputation. You passed the test. You are a magnificent weapon of light, forged in the darkest fires. The universe trusts you with this immense power because you never sought petty revenge. You simply stood still and allowed divine justice to perfectly balance the spiritual scales on your behalf. Now you can walk forward with your head held extremely high and your beautiful heart completely open. Your time is now. Do not forget the absolute power you hold in your quiet presence. Your pure energy is a sacred gift that requires strict boundaries and constant spiritual protection. Never apologize for protecting your profound peace from those who violently refuse to heal their own deep wounds. You belong to an entirely different frequency now, and you must guard this precious new reality fiercely every single day. I leave you with this final blessing of absolute peace and immense prosperity. May your path be constantly illuminated by undeniable divine signs and beautiful synchronicities. May your beautiful soul finally rest in the glorious triumph you have rightfully earned today, while the angels celebrate your incredible victory. Share this light and never look back at the fading darkness again.